Hello and welcome to this week's pro game recap between Nakamura Sumire and Kuwabara Shun. You may not have heard of the black player before. He's an average Japanese pro. I actually hadn't heard of him either before this game. You see, this game is the first one that was selected by one of my Patreon supporters. Adam supported at the tier which allows him to choose a game, any game, for me to review. He chose the game based off of excitement and the interesting Go quality. So this game wasn't particularly important for a tournament or anything like this, but it is a banger. So I decided that I was going to share it not just with him, but with all of you too. Let's dive right in. Okay, so Sumire is white, Kuwabara is black. Sumire is a very aggressive player. She kicks here. She wants black to extend, and black refuses. He takes an enclosure like this. This game, I think the theme of it was about deflecting attacks. Black's attack sometimes, then white deflected it. White attacked sometimes, black deflected it. It was always very interesting. And so here you can see the very first instance of it already on move 9. White wants to attack in the upper left corner, and black refuses. And white will continue to hold on to take an enclosure, and black again refuses by just taking space like this. These are big moves, but they aren't urgent moves. It allows white to crush the one black stone in the upper left, but isn't like very bad for black that happened. And importantly, it becomes a position which isn't black having a weak group which white is attacking, but is instead more like black has a moyo on the right side of the board and white has a moyo on the left side of the board. These games always get interesting. You can see black shoulder hits immediately, and white gives black a bunch of power. There's almost like a divide already. It's like the right half of the board is black, the left half of the board is white. And from here, we'll see whose is actually bigger. Of course, white has Komi. It looks like black is bigger, but black is also a little bit looser over here. White just comes in to invade. So white just wants to make one weak group relatively strong on the right side here, save, and then continue on and try to gain in other parts of the board. Black can approach like this. White exchanges one time the attach here and then takes a base. Yeah, I don't know why she exchanged that attach, but it definitely isn't something that's like very bad. It's not easy to punish as black or anything like that. Um, and black doesn't even really have a clear good direction to continue attacking this white group for now. He instead chooses to play a move on the bottom side. If he wouldn't play here, then white's move at the exact same spot would just make it difficult for black to make any kind of potential on the bottom. But as is, like this, suddenly, although white broke the right side of black's half of the board, black has sort of transitioned that potential to the bottom side. And white can't really break that right away because they still have a weak group on the right side. So she starts just with a 2-space jump to the center. She's just looking to defend herself and get the power that she can then come to reduce the bottom or come to the top side without becoming double attacked or basically having this group be her debt later in the game. So it's definitely a very valuable spot to take right now. Black chooses to build the bottom in response, and he's trying to continue to put pressure that this shape, the two space jumps, has some cutting problem and even can be attacked. So Sumire should defend it. She chooses to exchange once the bump before playing the knight's move like this. I don't really like that exchange, but that's okay. Um, it's not really going to be a big deal. It just means that black is a little bit stronger in this area. So if Sumire would later bust through on the bottom side, somehow start reducing and get all the way through, this exchange can sort of solidify black a little bit. It might help a little for black's control of the game later, but the white group is definitely strong as a result. And this is really what Sumire is hoping for when she does this sort of thing. She isn't a big fan of trying to win the game while she's defending her weak group, but rather to just not lose and win the game somewhere else. So this group is now quite stable, and something else has to be the next thing to go for. Black invades on the left side, so he's trying to break White's large area, White's half of the board, just as White has broken his. White chooses to take an enclosure here. And this has to do with the original intent that Sumire had when she played the large knight. You know, most professionals do not play the large knight as Sumire did on move 10 here, because it's a little bit thin. The control over the corner isn't that good, and a lot of the time later in the game, you're going to just wish that that stone had been a little bit closer to the corner so that all the invasions are much harder to play for black. But Sumire plays like this a lot, and the reason why she likes to play like that is that she can often continue to challenge that she sets up a very large area and then can solidify it naturally. So if black will just uh, defend his group normally on the left side here and allow Sumire to attack it a bit, then easily any invasion Aji can just disappear. And in that case, the large knight that Sumire played earlier, it wouldn't be that there's anything wrong. It would actually just be extra efficient. So this is Sumire's common type of challenge. He likes to show, hey, look, I'm taking just an enclosure here, but my corner is still a little bit too big. Are you going to do anything about it? And black says, well, yes, I will. He plays here. It's a really interesting move. I can't can't think to really do this kind of thing myself, but uh, it's a real move. It has real meaning. Sumire plays this move, which is already sort of justifying that because it gives black some good control in the corner. The natural way to play is like this, but it's not good because black can play this Hane. If Sumire just extends and tries to keep pressure on everything, then black has quite a large position potentially in the corner and even on the side. It's going to be hard for white to launch any meaningful attack like that. And if white tries to take the corner then already black's Atari here, you can see that black's base condition on the left side with that one stone has gotten quite a bit better after this exchange. And if white was before aiming at having a corner that was a little bit too big, well, now it's a little bit smaller than it was. So it shouldn't be bad for black. That's why white extended here. So she's fighting against that concept for black, that black can try to sacrifice anything in the corner, and instead of saying, hey, I'm taking the full power on the outside, you have to take power in the corner. How are you going to do it? Well, black should run like this, but Sumire had a plan. It was jump here. I mean, I don't even know if this move is called a jump. This is just like, you are going to the corner, I won't let you get the corner. I have so much strength over here. Even though you can run, where are you going to run to? It's just right into my wall, right? This is very powerful attacking. It's Sumire's specialty, and it's pretty difficult to answer this kind of thing. But the theme of this game is about deflecting attacks. So Kuwabara Shun shows us here perfectly how to handle this kind of situation. He starts by turning like this. And white must extend. It's too difficult for white to block here because then this Atari becomes black Sente. White's original plan with the jump was that she could link it back, but you can see if white links back now, then black has this Atari, and white loses control over the left side. White has an empty triangle, and even these two stones are very hard to save while continuing to attack this black. In comparison, when this one happens, black has to attach here. Because if black would play just as before, now you can see the black group is very harshly surrounded, and the white attacking power looks good. So black instead plays this one. The theme of defending for this game is to have a very broad sense of what you're doing, rather than a narrow, I just defend my group stably with what I have. It's to see a little bit further and to use the aji of things that are a little bit further away as well. So this reaching like this, it forces white to block this way. White cannot block this one because then black would Atari and play here to capture those stones. So white has to block like this, and then when black cuts, white must capture. White can't run in like this because when black does this one, even though white may be able to capture these stones, maybe not, and maybe black can save anyway. Even if white plays this way, black's plan can just be to save, to run them back to the side, and to fight this corner situation, not necessarily by saving those 4 stones, but by sacrificing them, it could also be a valid way to play for black. So White knew that the Aji is like really big. If she extends, then blacks extend the Ajis. It's too difficult for White to continue to capture those, so she had to fall back like this. And that meant, because black used the far reaches of his power, that black managed to make the best shape that he could in the corner. So at this moment, black plays the correct defensive move of descend, and White has to play Tiger's Mouth, and Black is almost alive in Sente. In the game, from here, Black could Tenuki, and White answered by playing away as well. But if White would try to attack this group, White cannot just reduce like this, because the two vital points in the center of the box 6 are Miai. No matter which one White takes, Black takes the other one, and Black will be able to form two eyes, basically threatening an eye on either side. So White's aggressive move, it should be this one. If White wants to really try to attack this group, take the vital point from Black, forcing Black to descend. Otherwise, Black wouldn't have enough space left in the corner to make two eyes. But from here, White can play another vital point like this. Black has to play here, and White can play this move. Then Black can make a ko themselves or play here, at which point White must take this move, or else if Black gets it, it will be seki. When White plays this move, it becomes a ko. If White wins the ko, White will connect and the Black group will be dead. If Black wins the ko, Black will capture and have even more than two eyes. So the reason why the original descent was correct is that kind of ko, it gives Black a lot of extra territory if Black would win, compared to if White never tries to fight that ko, White can keep this Black group relatively low on territory and even get some Sente moves outside. So the reason why the descent is the correct defensive move there, don't usually descend. I know it's a very popular move at the double-digit Q level. It's usually not correct, but if you really need a little bit of extra space for your life and death, then descending is a good way to try to get it. Okay. In the game, they Tenuki, because White does not want to try to capture this group just yet, and Black spending a move before White would try to capture it would deny himself the extra territory that White would give him by throwing in a bunch of stones if White tries to capture him later. So both are correct to try to Tenuki right now. Black's move of Tenukiing was this jump. It was quite interesting. It's basically saying, I've already broken this area, let me break your side as well. Even though you're so strong here, if I can just make away with a little bit, then it can be good for Black. So White will try to be very aggressive in response and block here. Black plays this one, and wait, Atari is here. You can see both of them are very hesitant to play outside moves. Actually, if it was me, I would have played here as Black, and as White, after this one, I will play like this. Because I enjoy to take thickness from a situation like this and trust that I can keep some power against the Black group's weakness. But in professional human games, they don't enjoy playing this kind of position very much, at least aggressive players don't, and defensive players usually don't either, because Black can be pretty easy to figure out how to save, how to make a nice clean shape on the side. So both of them emphasize a lot about the potential living shape, and that's why at this point Black plays this Atari rather than pushing out. Yeah, this one I really can't agree with, because here it gives White a chance to surround pretty cleanly, but Black thought that he had some cut. Yeah, if it was me, rather than this, I won't exchange this way, and we'll just push through here. And yeah, they have some point that if I try to bust through like this, then White can cut this way. It looks like White is getting a lot of territory, but Black can just take the outside Ponuki in Sente and be already satisfied with that. However, White defends, Black can just play for the outside. In my opinion, this kind of defending is better because it sees that the outside of the board can still be valuable, that the center, there could be something there. Whereas this kind of defending is quite how can I say? It's quite one-dimensional. It emphasizes very hard on the side on making some kind of space there. You can see black, of course, will just add a move of thickness there and allows white to then dominate the center, however. Of course, when white pushes a bunch of times, then white has to answer, otherwise that stone would be captured. But at the end of this, the black group on the side is still not completely alive yet. You can feel free to pause the video and think about how you would try to add a move to that group. In the game, Kuwabara Shun plays Tiger's Mouth. It's a very sensible move, actually. It's very reasonable. It means there's an eye on the first line here, even if white Hane is black and block, and there's another eye uh, exactly where the Tiger's Mouth is. There's no way that white can bust through into that one, at least for now. And since that black group is alive, white should switch to the other weak groups, the white stones in the center and the black stones in the center. It must be correct to play the knight's move here for white. And black goes to defend his territory. So you can see this black player is trying to win on territory as he goes through each of the weak areas. He tries to break the corner, then break the side, then build his own territory. And in the meantime, Sumire is always trying to emphasize on how she can take the fighting control. She plays into here. She's trying to put an attack on that one stone, put an attack on the corner, and bust some territory as she does it. Please attach. This one was really interesting. It's yeah, definitely not a natural move to think of for most players. I can't really say I understand it either, because of course Sumire will play the Hane inside, right? Then when black extends back, it feels like we've just sort of put some stones in between the two white groups. That can be valuable if you can attack them, but white can spend her next move defending the stone at 017, and the group over here, white even invested a lot earlier to make it strong. So if black continues to try to follow up and attack the right side, I can't say it looks very promising. So to me, this attacking is quite ambitious, and it's interesting to see Kuwabara all of a sudden play like this when before he was playing, it seems relatively territorial. Yeah, but Sumire wouldn't do things so simply. If it's me, I'll just defend my stone at 017 and be satisfied. Sumire plays cap here. And we're starting to get into the part of the game, the reason why this game was picked. Cap here it's quite strange, right? Like black attaches to say I'm attacking your two groups, and white is just like, no, you aren't. Like what group? It doesn't even care about that stone at all. It's so weird, right? But what she means is, hey, I played knight's move and you ignored me. I was attacking these four stones. I'm still attacking them. Look, I cap you. I'm gonna capture them. Look, defend them. And when you defend them, then I'll attack your one stone as I defend myself on the top side. Of course, black won't allow that. He will play here, knight's move. He's defending his one stone and trying to keep the pressure on for that white stone at 017. And he doesn't care about these four stones at all. This was, I think, one of Sumire's strategic mistakes during this game, is she often placed quite a bit of value on putting pressure on those four stones. And yet black knew those stones are light. If white goes after them with a bunch of moves in the middle game, as black does similarly valuable things, but regarding a lot of territory, eventually you'll find that these stones only represented like maybe 20 points at most if white tries to capture them. So when black plays any random knight's move, something like this, and takes a lot of fighting control as he aims to make some territory, it can be a lot more valuable than the capping stone. This is Sumire being a little bit over-aggressive, in other words, that she's trying to put the pressure on when she really could have just defended, in my opinion. Well, she defends afterwards anyway, and honestly, it works really well. At this point, black kind of has to play the extend here and allow Sumire to have some resources in the corner. It's much preferable to play the Atari here if possible, but if black would do this right now, white could play the push like this. And then the black attacking moves in the center become really silly looking. Black can't wedge because there's double Atari, So at that point, maybe black would capture, but this is clearly a good variation for white. So that's why black played here, made sure to stay solid in between the two white groups. But white has some resources in the corner. Maybe she can still save her group, although black got a little bit of extra power towards it. Then it could be actually a big scam. So at this point, black has a powerful attack, and white, it's her job to deflect it, just as the theme of the game. And as in the theme of the game of deflecting attacks by looking at the board in a broad sense, Sumire defends her group in a way I bet you aren't expecting by playing attach here. You may ask me, what do you mean defends her group? This is the complete other side of the board. How is this defending the group in the upper right? Sumire knows that there's a potential ko in the upper right. White has basically two options. White can play this move, and then black blocks, and then white can struggle locally to form enough space to make two eyes. This kind of thing is often a very cramped variation for white. So white would prefer, rather than descend, to hane. Then if black just answers like this, you can see that white's eye shape is much more bountiful. And even the eye space is larger as well. So that's a much preferable variation for white. That's why when white plays hane, in real games, black almost always ataris here. Of course, if white connects, then the hane has no meaning, black captured it, so white plans to play ko. This ko is really big. If black connects and wins the ko, the whole upper right is black's territory. But if white wins the ko, not only does white break the whole territory, but even the black stones can be a little bit weak outside. So knowing that that ko is very, very large, Sumire realizes that she cannot start the ko right away. She simply doesn't have ko threats that are that big. So she looks to create them by going to the bottom side. Since black has already sort of committed to sealing the bottom side in some way, when Sumire attaches here, there's no timing for black to go finish off the upper right or anything like that. He just has to try to control his territory here as best he can. So he plays a pincer here, knowing that white cannot live in the corner. He's trying to take his best outside strength. White plays the clamp. Black pretty much has to play the descent here to make sure that white is dead, but white plays wedge one time and hanes. By threatening to live in the bottom right corner, white has escalated the situation a lot and made it so that if white plays another two moves in the bottom right, it won't just be like white stealing some territory, but white breaking a lot of territory and even capturing some black stones as she does it. Black still fights the ko. It's not really possible to back off. You know, that shape was just too beautiful for white. So black has to capture like this, fight the ko, and allow white to play this ko threat and answer. And when white comes back here, black has to find his own ko threat. He chooses to hane in the center. But Sumire says that this ko threat isn't enough. She captures like this, and black basically has to continue by attacking the right side. Sumire spent all those moves earlier defending the right side. She says she can endure, even though it's two moves in a row. And indeed she can, because even these black stones have become quite weak. So black, knowing that he can't really attack this very severely, he just captures one stone here, linking his stones back in the center. White cuts here to make sure that she has her own base on the side, nice and clean, and black plays Tanuki. So the end result of the fighting here, white sort of solidified the bottom side for black. Those exchanges aren't like very good for white, but white did manage to break the whole upper right. Even the black group, although it's connected, it could still be weak overall. The white group here, not that weak. And black Sente wasn't like very stunning. The reason why he played this move at 101 is it prevents that ko aji from before. Now if white plays the clamp, which white does not, white plays here. If white plays clamp, then black will immediately connect back like this. So already the group in the bottom left is saved at the same time as black makes sure that his group on the left side is solid as well. That's why this move is big. It was actually like really quite a large move, yet still white managed to gain. If I can pinpoint a moment where black made a mistake, it must be the ko threat here, just being a little bit too slow, too slack. It's very difficult when you play this kind of thing to be as active as possible if you would play some move like this, you can often feel that, oh, I just fed white. I just gave white a lot more. But white didn't really have that many large co-threats on the board, and it was definitely possible for black to continue to fight this ko and hope to win it. But it's very difficult to make that kind of judgment consistently, so white manages to deflect black's attack and take a lead. She continues by poking out the eye of the elephant jump. Yeah, the meaning of this move is that she became strong here, and black became somewhat weak. And black is still weak on that side. She just wants to play a powerful fighting move, so to continue to be able to attack. Not just the black group on the right side and the top side, but even these 4 stones, she's definitely still eyeing. Black plays the knight's move cover. Actually, this is a very common move to play a double knight's move like this. It's a good shape for black for sure. It mostly connects the stones together and at the same time establishes something like an influence towards the center of the board. White turns. She knows that her group on the right side was still potentially weak, so she's continuing to aim at the black group as she defends it. Is definitely a valuable move. Black plays the jump here. It's the 2-space jump from the right side, but is still solidly connected. White doesn't have the cutting power to be able to make any direct cut and seal off the right side. At least it so seems, until white plays here. This one threatens it, right? But black has no good way to defend this, not straightly at least. So black plays here. Yeah, of course white couldn't really cut if black would try to defend, but if black plays a move that's more passive, something like this one, then even just capture and peep here, suddenly you can see the black shape is kind of getting ripped apart. So although there was no direct cut, the action by Sumire to continue to just add stones to her own group, it made it so awkward for black that nonetheless he had to come back and save. And white continued to cut in the center. So now, since she got another free move, this kind of cut can really work. Even though black cuts here, you can see the white stones are well connected and the black stones are somewhat shattered already. Black needs to defend his group on the top side, or it would be in serious trouble. The reason why he cut, I think, was that he anticipated this shape happening, and then he thought that this exchange would be good here, rather than allowing white to capture. But I think, honestly, that cut was not really necessary because black can't put pressure now on either group, on the white group stones in the center or the white stones on the top side. It's difficult to imagine either being a serious resource for black. So in my opinion, the cut was hasty, it was ill-timed, but that just means that white's attack is all the stronger. White plays here. The black group is well surrounded. It must save itself. It plays the Kusumi, and white strikes the vital point, but black had it read out. He knew that when he plays here, the black group will live. And white knew it too. She just turned here and switched to the center. If white will try, let's say, Hane here, this looks pretty dangerous, right? It looks like I'm threatening to cut. At this moment, white still needs to break the potential eye in the center. And when black connects like this, that one stone is now actually under threat to be captured. So if white defends it, however, then black can answer this way. And if white finally kills like this, then black can make just enough space like this that the white cannot make a dead shape inside black can live. So just barely, this black group is alive, but you can see that the way black was defending, that cut, he did manage to use it. Even if I think it wasn't maybe the best use of white's Aji in the center, he was eyeing it up as a resource, as a method that he could use to defend himself as expansively as he can. And you can see his defending, his Kusumi, it was still eyeing the white base over here. So black hasn't given up on all of the white weaknesses, even if they aren't the most important thing right now. He still sees them all. It's important. But white continues with the turn here, so trying to keep pressure on the top side in the center. Black would like to connect like this, but Sumire finds a very sharp way to cut, which is this move. Yeah, if you would cut directly, there's a ladder, it doesn't work. But when you do this one, now if black connects here, then you can wedge and cut off the center. And if black connects here, then you can cut this way. And there's no longer a ladder because the clamp that Sumire plays first naturally breaks it. So black can only defend the two groups separately. He plays the knight's move like this, Sumire connects, and he makes his base on the top side. You can see, again, as Kuwabara Shun defends himself, he eyes the territory. And as Sumire is attacking, she's eyeing the fighting control. So she's thinking, I cut, then you have weakness in the center, you have weakness on the top side, I gain. Black is thinking, I gain by territory on the top side, I can handle the fighting in the center, I gain. Yeah? The parrying by black has been very nice. White plays here. She's still intent on looking to capture black. But black, ever mindful of the width of the board, he doesn't answer this in some basic way, allow white to try to dominate the top side here, or in some way which would be relatively small, allow white to reduce and force black into a small ball. He plays the Kosumi here, the most expansive move possible, and therefore, as long as it works, the best defensive move possible. White extends here. White is looking to make this black group a little bit less alive, and ideally, the one cutting move that I showed being sente earlier at N16 would be useful somehow in the attack against the black topside. So she asks right away, hey, are you really going to save those 3 stones in the center? And black actually says no. Because I have to save the top side, I must defend myself directly on this side and allow you to break in on the center here. The trading was actually really sharp like that. White exchanges one more time, getting a little bit more territory. That move was sente for White's Atari. And now it's very clear that black has 2 eyes, one here and one underneath that stone. White can't run it out, black would Atari on this side. So white continues to cut in the center. Because black parried the attack on the right side by sacrificing a little bit in the center, white can then use that power to try to capture. Black admits you have that and defends his own territory. You can see black's board vision is very wide. He wouldn't just block naturally and just hope that he could have some resource. He admits, oh hey, you look to be capturing those 3 stones. I mean, they aren't really captured yet, but you look to be pretty strong in the area. Then I can't do anything yet. I will just wait. I will keep my territory. Black still has plenty of small territories throughout the board. White's advantage is not yet clear. So white plays the attach here and looks to start an attack. Black blocks like this, and white plays here. The natural way that you would think to play is to cut, of course, right? Then if black plays this one, it looks like white has a squeeze, like this. If black answers, then this move. But white has a weakness of her own in the center. When black runs out like this, actually those stones are just captured. There's no way for white to even save them. You can see that one stone in the center, which black had just allowed to die, had just let be cut off, is his saving grace on the top side. If black would have pushed and ignored his topside situation, he may have killed himself by accident. But because he was aware and just defended himself there, then he maintained his own group's survival on the topside, and white was only able to play here, allow black to play this one, and kick. It's actually still somewhat dangerous. Black needs to secure himself, make sure that these 2 stones are inside his territory, but white plays now this empty triangle. Sumire is very sharp towards life and death. What this one means is if black tenukis, then white can play the hane, Black doesn't Tenuki, he plays there. But if he would forget to play anything, then white has a threat to save these stones. Black cannot now cut them off because black would die in a shortage of liberty on the top side. So this one is directly Sente, threatening to save these stones. And as Sumire makes that Sente, she also looks to make a dead shape inside on the black top side. So she's looking to attack this black group from the inside. Well, black should then defend on the outside. That's the meaning of the game. We always parry the attack by looking around, by looking for other things to do. When black plays here, white can reduce like this, still threatening the same thing I showed earlier, and connect back here. So black cannot make another eye by capturing that stone like this, but black can try to make another eye on the top side. White tries to reduce, black blocks, and white plays here. It's looking to make a bulky 5 shape inside. Of course, white's Hane anytime will be Sente, but white doesn't want to exchange it yet in case there's some reason it could be a co-threat or anything like that. But if white Hane is here and manages to play here, then this would be a bulky 5 dead shape inside. So black knows locally he has to defend, but before he does that, he makes sure to get the best that he can outside. So he pushes once here. White tries to keep him dead on the top side, or potentially dead. Black manages to capture, white captures back. Black plays another Sente over here, breaking some white territory, and finally plays the connecting move here. Now, even though white Hanes, this will not be able to Atari black as a dead shape. It's just a dead shape as it is. That means it's Seki. So both groups on the top side will be mutually alive for now. But you can see, as black defended himself, black filled the liberty of the white outside here, manages to make a false eye potential shape of the white shape out here, and even busted a little bit of territory. Because black kept on eyeing up the other areas, black managed to gain a lot outside as he defended himself from white's territory attack. So yes, black has no territory left here, but maybe everything isn't all said and done. I think that this knight's move on the bottom side is Sumire's mistake. Because black can now play here. These 3 stones, they could have died. In my opinion, Sumire should have played something like this, capture these stones, and then maintain the power in the center very nicely. So after this, the corner group for white is completely okay. You've managed to capture some stones. So if black tries to do any cutting shenanigans in the center, try to revive these stones, it's going to be much harder after white spends a move like this. But white played the territory style move first. She understands that the game is heading into endgame. But this move is a really, really big endgame. It means that now black has saved these 3 stones. And white doesn't really have a good move to play locally either. White can only really Tenuki, go to the bottom side again. Because if white plays another move like this, black can answer, and white cannot capture those 2 stones now. If white would try, then black has Atari like this. And of course, this would not be satisfying for white to just allow black to connect back in Sente. So white knew she couldn't really do anything in this area after black takes this vital point. She played away again, but it allowed black to play even one more time in this area. And all of a sudden, you can see black is threatening a ko here. Wait, Tenukis again. But if black captures this ko, if black wins this ko, even the white upper right corner, that double Panuki, that perfectly alive group that seemed so strong earlier, it could die. And aside from that, there's even some cutting problems in the center. Black can look to save his 1 stone and use the white cuts to launch a counterattack. But at the same time as all this is happening, white is also breaking into black's potential moyo. So both players are doing something that is definitely bigger than normal on both sides. They have to prove that theirs was the biggest. So Sumire plays this attach, looking to connect to those 3 stones, or at least break in to a lot of the moyo. Of course, black should Hane on top. Sumire chooses to Hane back, like this. Black can cut like this and block its Sente, and the way that black does this, it forces white's Hane to have been a cut, where black gives white a bunch of power on the second line, but he just tries to secure a smaller part of his moyo, like this, and uh, give himself the option later to finish off this one stone with however Atari and take the rest of the moyo. So Sumire tries to prove that her moyo reducing was the best. She plays another move here. In my opinion, it was the losing move. The problem with this one is it creates a shape where Wei has a basically permanent shortage of liberty problem, where Wei wants to continue to bust through into the remaining part of the moyo for black, but however Wei tries to do that, Wei will have to eventually capture these two stones because black will make an Atari at some point. You can see it in the game. Black takes the ko, trying to show that his way is the most important. White tries to jump like this, black just turns. And White tries to do some fancy stuff right now. She's exchanging some moves to make this cut not possible for black to Atari up. But black can just capture. Because White always had that shortage of liberty, it was so difficult for her to trigger anything, for her to make anything significant in terms of the tethegy that she was trying to create. All she can do now is capture these 3 stones. Of course, that's pretty good by itself, but it's much less valuable when you consider that black managed to secure this part of the moyo that was not his, that Wei had broken in already. Black also gets to turn here. It's very nice, and even win the ko now. So this Wei group in the upper right is dead. There's no ko. Those stones are just captured already. And even as black does this, black threatens to do something in the center. Wei has to defend like this. So black won the ko in Sente and gets to spend his next move blocking the moyo again. You can see Wei ended up doing almost nothing on the bottom side, just trading back and forth into almost no progress. Because the original stone there, it had its shortage of liberty problem that it couldn't allow any further movement for white. Wait, Atari's once pushes here, Atari's here, and Atari's like this. So her technique here is to use black's shortage of liberty to try to break into the rest of the moyo. Actually, black has a trading technique right now. In the game, he tries to extend here, and he endures. He just continues to surround this white, and eventually white comes back to answer, and black tenukis to defend his group in the bottom left, and he enters an endgame where black is leading significantly. It was also possible, rather than doing this way, it's a pretty clean way to win the game, but it was also possible to play here, because there's a shortage of liberty right now. At this exact moment, white Atari threat isn't that serious. Black manages to secure back again the stones which white thought they had captured, and it's difficult for white to run, however, into the center. Even the black stones in the center are still going to be strong anyway. So that was also possible, but this way in the game, black just made himself as strong as he liked and starts an endgame where you can see white captures here. Black has some territory throughout his moyo, but he mostly has his territory in the little chunks and a big chunk on the top side. That Seki, which Wei had made earlier, because black managed to bust through in the upper right, capture the Wei upper right corner and connect everything in that ko and Sente, all of those stones that Wei played, breaking the territory on the top side, became meaningless. And all of the outside things which Wei allowed black to take earlier on in the game as he was defending himself, all of those stones retained their meaning no matter what. That's why when we go through this game, black is now leading very significantly. And Sumire knows it, that's why she plays the Hane here and allows this ko. This ko is not good. Normally we should never play this kind of thing. But White knows that she's losing, so she needs to make a fight somewhere. Black also knows that he's winning, so he doesn't even play any serious co-threats, but just sort of walks vaguely into the center. It might be a valuable move, I guess. And White tries to defend herself as well. She's emphasizing on the weaknesses still on the group over there, making any kind of sumego she can. But alas, it is to no avail. This game is just irreversible, even though black starts making some questionable co-threats in the center there and over there. I'm not really a big fan. of these co-threats. Still, White's gain in this kind of co, it can never be that much. Even though Black plays here, White wins the co, and even Black treats it, White wins the co in Sente, doesn't even think that his co-threat was very serious. White still couldn't possibly catch up enough to win this game. Black just answers this co as well. White manages to come back here. It's as if Black managed to play no co-threat at all, yet still Black is leading by about 8 points. So at this moment, Nakamura Sumire resigns the game. And what a great game it was. It was actually really, really interesting to see them both parrying each other's attacks so well. The attacks look really powerful, right? But if you're at this level, the defense tends to triumph. Yeah, it was a great game. It was really interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. Again, if you want to support, then you can feel free to look at the Patreon, but you don't need to. I'm also happy and satisfied with a subscribe, a like, a comment if you're so inclined. I love all my comments, by the way. Thank you guys very much for all your positive feedback and the constructive criticism as well. I try to work on everything. We're improving as a YouTuber. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you again next week. Bye bye.